grand finals, but now getting into the agent selects for real. Ash, we'll get to see how this all plays out as expected agents come on through.
No surprises there. I don't think anybody would have anticipated a change heading into Ascent. Both of these teams have mastered their compositions on the side of MIBR. It's that classic Ascent take. Meanwhile, on the side of WADA, they have made great use of this double sentinel and setting up that Yoru and chamber.
Something that's so familiar for both of these teams in terms of the competition and the opponent on the opposing end of the stage. We are tied in the finals 1-1. Time to see going into Ascent who is going to take back the lead. Let's head into the map and find out and send it back over to Vansili and Lemon Kiwi.
Thank you, Sierra. WADA have already begun to rewrite history. They've won their map pick, but the past may come to haunt them as we return to Ascent.
Exactly. They've already faced off against each other on this map. It finished 13-6 in favor of MIBR. But again, to reiterate, if you've just tuned in now, this is a lot of reactions post into that series, post into that day that the jitters were actually really there for the side of WADA, for the newcomer stepping up on the stage. Astralis, Juna, Adora. But this time, it's different. You finally have a map in, under your belt for this series. It's tied 1-1. And Starbound still will want to try to battle on middle on Ascent here.
Quiet check. Starbound watched. Not even gonna risk it for the biscuit. Immediately dips. And that's where they can kind of combine with Power Pixel A, and even the recon allows MIBR to absorb all of that space and begin the flood in. Sitting there at logs though is Starbound, hoping for a lucky right click to nip at the heels of MIBR. But Sayori doesn't have the flash. It's just a paranoia from Lisa, and it's enough to destabilize Starbound, who's at least still good for one. But MIBR, they watch the left, they watch to the right, they cross both sides, and they'll end up in the hands of Juna. Quick flick for SRN as Lisa becomes a victim, and Juna is the one collecting names in the death note. An insane pistol out of WADA.
Juna definitely feeling there after holding down solo the back of the site as this Vice, whiffing a little bit of shots in the very beginning, but the repositioning to isolate the fights in the end was superb on her end. It started off well, it seems like the paranoia should have killed Starbound, but Starbound being nearsighted still spotted their opponent, got the right click onto them and got their one piece, and you'll take it for sure. Another important pistol round now as WADA. This is a different story for sure, as you've mentioned, Lemon Kiwi. Now that you see WADA being able to win pistol rounds as well, they are going to start looking dangerous.
Yeah, the one pistol they did take against Akabe led them to that final victory. It was like a 10-2 half though, but WADA, you saw they were just screaming as soon as they got one round. That shifted so much momentum and morale on WADA's side. They came in with nerves, and they want to leave with confidence. MIBR, quick to ramp up speed-wise, and Starbound quick to put Sayori down, and that's such a killer. You need these initiators to get onto the site with, and now you got no lurk. There's no other option for MIBR unless they think they have enough time. Now the Stinger up close. MIBR want to get this over with, and so does Astralis.
You're seeing so far that not only the aim is precise for the side of WADA, but they are playing a lot more together, which was lacking on that first day. The default positions and how you're actually setting your lines for your chamber stays very similar, but the difference is once Starbound gives up that line, there's already a player up there to help. You already saw there, it was Adora with the Stinger just at the entrance. The previous round in the pistol round, even though it looked like they gave up middle, there was still Power Pixelate playing back towards that spawn, running shock darts right into Pizza to do some chip damage. So they do have good ways to stop like the initial engage of MIBR saying, okay, we forced the TP, let's just start running it down because we have better firepower. WADA are doing a great job stalling in these moments.
It's not the first time that Juna is in kind of this one and done spot to be bailed out. Just like she was at Fox's on Lotus on the C site. They don't go for these spots too often, and I don't think MIBR are going to step up to the plate for that. SRN now knows this Vice wall is there, doesn't want to trigger it. It's going to keep that sense of security there for WADA to see if anyone is going to lock eyes with her. Now somebody's got to do something, and MIBR get active, and it starts to reveal these positions. As now Juna will have to use Thorns to get out, but this nade from the KJ is making things a little difficult. Still some space to work with. The fall back, PowerPixel with the Sheriff continues to deliver crucial kills. As MIBR stuck with the paranoia right through A main. Beautiful timing out of Astralis. As WADA are performing so well rounded. And MIBR down 2.
Might have to save now. 20 seconds left, nothing you could do. Even the orb's been picked up already early on that B side, so right now Sayuri is just trying to make it expensive. Ends up being a bonus round that's a flawless on top of that for WADA. That's an insane round to have won, especially when you hurt me just tisk at the beginning of that round. When they threw that knife, forcing the TP away from Starbound, let yourself get hit by it. Juna was basically playing that one and done, but by shooting the knife out, she gives her position away. But thankfully, they didn't commit into the fight against her. She was able to throw the Razor Vines on the ground to delay them even more and funnel them into these consistent off angles that you're playing for different rounds. Remember, Starbound towards Wine. Now you have Juna playing at the entrance of the B site. You have PowerPixel playing out in the open towards Dog, which is just at the entrance of the catwalk before you get into Tree. But they've done a great job here just isolating all of these pushes and these lurks from MIBR, and they're putting them into a tight position, bringing only 3 rifles from this previous round saved.
Strong defense after what Astralis put up with the paranoia on A, to Juna being flawless so far at B. I think she was 4-0, but MIBR, giving up now a first blood. Starbound. The desk talked about how hard it is to keep track of this chamber. The obvious strat seeming so unbeatable. Astralis will go 1 for 1, trimming down MIBR on the approach. Lisa is not going to be in range of a rifle. And now out of arm's reach at Bastarda that has to do it all on her own. Knows she's surrounded. Doesn't feel safe enough to go for the plant and at least buys herself some time. Hiding down below. It's Bastarda against the world. She's pulled off an ace on Abyss. Watch what she can do. Look at that. Quick frame. Quick flick. A little tap. Under pressure. Under fire. And WADA threw everything to kill the GOAT.
And Adora is doing a little bit of fun here in the post round. But yeah, nice try. It's been a long time. We talked about Bastarda since the Abyss map. I haven't really had a chance to highlight that player too much on that second map because it's been WADA all along as soon as we switch sides. That said, you're seeing this round over here. There's still great openings being done by MIBR at least to get the plant down, to build the economy back up on their side. And with the weapons that you're dropping for the side of Bastarda, it doesn't matter too much because that was still bonus weapons being carried over from 2 rounds ago on the side of WADA. They converted their bonus round buying almost nothing, and going into that previous round, well, you're going to have some money going into this one here. I also have to say, it feels like we've overcommitted trying to really disrespect PowerPixel on that previous round. When we droned to find the information, we kind of stayed still out in the open, thinking we could out-aim Starbound, but they've been heating up here since that last map. They have to think things differently on how they could approach to push Starbound away from these early angles.
And it was MIBR, when they went to ascend this last encounter, that kicked off that map 2 at the time, 9-3. Converting the bonus, looking like they were almost going to get a 10-2 half. So this is very unconventional. This is a different WADA that you're facing, one that isn't nervous, and the one that's fighting back, the one that's in control and holding all their bases on defense. And now there's an op in the picture too for Starbound.
And they're going to try to pit SRN against them. The position from WADA, Starbound on middle, is nothing new. They've punished Starbound on this very map yesterday in these very positions.
Here. Like Starbound has a sense of where SRN's gonna show this op at. WADA had a little bit of time between the marathon that was yesterday and to prepare for today, this best of 5. Oh, and Starbound locks in, ran down, and it's so weird to see her at an 0-5 spot. MIBR, weird to see them at 0-4, and when it rains, it pours. WADA just in full control, like I said, of this map.
And that's the buddy system I was talking about too. Having Adora to break the drone so that Starbound can hold the aggressive angle. Beautifully done. Starbound saw that flash coming from miles away and gets the easy pick, allowing a 2-player advantage for WADA this round.
Got recons and shock bolts and flashes in the arsenal. Oh, the recon won't be spotting Astralis, tries to play as anti-flash as they can, and it's the flood in, and MIBR don't have any legs left underneath them. The Sayori will still march, and oh, a crucial shot to miss Starbound, an opening for Sayori. And she even has Power Pixel A on the back foot. And the door closes, an isolated 1v1, and the Odin wins it for Power Pixel A.
Another nice try for MIBR, almost a clutch on a side of Bastarda the previous round, this time Sayuri. And you have to thank the heavens that Juno was able to knife out and rotate. And as soon as the door is shut, she notices the crossover towards Generator, and we'll call it for Power Pixel A, so that they can get set up for the easy mowdown with the Odin right over at this spot. No chance to get a plant, no chance to get the round, and 5 unanswered rounds on WADA's defense, which is quite surprising too, when MIBR has done such a good job against that defense of WADA the last time around. But when you're playing against a team that don't look like they're missing now, it's hard to really find these rounds on your attack side in this default comp.
Saren trying to get into critical range for the Stinger. Still searching for her first kill, and Adora just wipes the floor. Almost the quickest ace. And now Mel is left stranded, and Power Pixel A gifting the ace to the new duelist on the team. Finally, Adora has come here to play.
And Adora has started to light up the stage since the game against Akave. A very slow start, having to play into a brand new system of WADA. The last minute sub coming through to replace Sleepy Aria. Femboy who couldn't join the teammates on this stage. But then you're starting to see the value that Adora brings to a team, and the reason why and how they were scouted by King Fred, by Jerkin, by probably the players around WADA. They're looking like a well-oiled machine from top to bottom, anchoring to entries. MIBR.
Oh, so desperate, and just no other way. MIBR so stubborn, and they lose. They just get hosed down by bullets, and MIBR bought up where the economy is. They're gonna start to drown. They gotta keep their heads above water. Oh, and now SRN's 0-7. WADA, what a flip of the switch.
Also about to be 0-7 at the score line too. The flotation devices after drowning were the weapons to carry over to the next round, and it almost looks like they won't be able to do that. Already Juna cutting the rotates, and yeah, that's no weapons. Another flawless, a super clean one too. Look at how you mentioned it, Lemon Kiwi, a desperate one to try to entry towards this B site with a null command. And the stall that came through from the Razor Vines, I don't think they expected another one or something like that through the smoke. They ran through, they're getting damage at the same time while they're trying to run across after the Odin spray. So hard when you're not breaking the util right there on the side of MIBR. It just looks like a fortress that you're not going to be able to penetrate.
This hasn't been a good attacking option for MIBR. You have to dig deeper into the strat book, like we said, after leading 9-3 on the offense previously. Because mid has been extremely perilous to get around when Starbound has been lurking around that area. Catwalk, even when MIBR have that control, Astralis such a thorn in their side, and I feel like you're walking into a trap. And then even just trying to flood through the right side of the map, you just get paranoid by Astralis. There's just strong anchors across the board for WADA.
And just want to take some time as well to praise the coaching staff for both of these teams. As you just saw the shots coming through here from Viscointine, the head coach for MIBR GC, is also one of the coaches for MIBR Academy, while King Fred did the same thing for Winthrop University and now for WADA. These two guys are just working around the clock and has so much passion to raise the up-and-coming talent for both of the scenes that they're participating in, that they don't mind. Even more for King Fred. He's not even getting paid. And he's doing this for these two rosters. So that said, back into the action as we're still floating around the map. It is a desperate push from MIBR into the A site.
Drone contact. MIBR have tried to push WADA back. Finally, SRN puts the cape on her back. Will do it in her own way. Creeps up when WADA were distracted by some site action. The first time MIBR can cement themselves, get a round going. Already ahead is SRN trying to threaten the high ground or to be below them. Steel Guard and Dimensional Drift, a big investment for WADA as MIBR are left without looking like a fighting chance, but wait, with just the Sheriff, with Lisa getting a 3K? Holy, she's doing it again, and Starbound will have to save the off.
Lisa's able to save that with a nice shot onto SRN and also eliminates the Blade Storm into the next rounds. But of course, in pure fashion of Valorant, the next scoreline is the common scoreline that we've been seeing a lot these days. Especially how rounds could snowball with these ults. How Double Initiator is also allowing for you to get so much information for this side of MIBR and getting just picks, but also how good it is to anchor on the defensive side with these double sentinel plays. That said though, if you look into this round, the reason why I said it was troll is that we went into a Steel Garden when you already had an eco on the side of MIBR. Maybe the best bet is you're trying to eliminate the Phantom that you lost towards Tree, but the other ones already have pistols. That was a little bit of a fumble that they could have saved going into this round here where you actually have a rifle round for MIBR.
The silver lining for MIBR to eliminate those ultimates for now. And you get SRN
take flight,
start getting energized too, having to go on some solo adventure. Now drone v drone, reveal on MIBR in mid, something that Starbound asked to watch. It just through the smoke, the fire, the flames. SRN gets her revenge, and MIBR step up to the plate. Kind of split though, as someone has to address Juna and this Odin. That's poking away at SRN. She has her hands full with this Odin, but someone has to make the space and get access Juna. And it's Bastard, a beautiful shot. And now the site is clear for MIBR.
The thing is, Lisa could actually start lurking and flanking. Even if she gets spotted, she could TP into the site and help out the rest of the team. This is a well drawn out round by MIBR so far. Backstab's about to happen. If you overextend behind that smoke, Lisa is going to get easy kills onto Adora.
Hey, there's the engage for WADA. Lisa will trail behind for now, and it's the Odin that's putting MIBR's backs against the wall, and Lisa creeps up, little jump scare, lot for WADA to handle, and there's nothing left. Back-to-back rounds from a thrifty to a comeback that begins to build.
It was nice that Starbound was able to get their one and done to start. That volley was beautiful by Sayuri, if I'm not mistaken. But for Sayuri to get pinged by the Owl Drone, the shot comes through, Sayuri falls, the trade comes across, but where's the reaction after that? The wall's been procced up, you're trying to get a recon into sight, but you're already swinging out before the recon can get information for you, and you can't really get a wall bang across. The other ones didn't even rotate from the A site, so they were still expecting this default coming out from MIBR, so unfortunately the defense kind of dwindled down. Too much space had been given away here after Juna spotted players and pressure from the B side and market. Now finally, WADA wants to change the tempo a bit here. Instead of just looking and counting, trusting Starbound to try to get an early pick into middle, we did try to be over aggressive on the extremities here. And now what's the reaction once again? Because this is the same setup.
Closer to that Hunter's Fury if Mel wants to grab the orb, but MIBR also don't want to just gift over an ace and funnel in. And they just line up But it's SRN that continues to lead that charge and keep the pressure onto the backside. And after that kill on Juna, MIBR comfortable to get the spike down. They'll be up to maybe Starbound. But now breaking this door will just make it obvious. It'll be about timing for WADA as they coalesce here with Starbound and just clipping SRN. Now having to find a different angle on this door. The flash breaks through and Sayori just confirms the round for MIBR. Even if she had to flash her own team, doesn't matter. Starbound doesn't have anything to lose, but a lot to gain. One kill is all she can get, or all they can get though, as MIBR make it 3 in a row.
Try to make it flashy towards the end. But the flood back out is so hard to do when, again, you're seeing that MIBR are being a lot more fast tempo and also just focusing a lot into the main extremities when they're actually entering towards these sites. So now you're avoiding Starbound's ult and just the op in general that's usually posted up on middle here. And as you overtake the site, well, the position's perfect, and then it makes it even more difficult for WADA to start retaking the site because now you're playing with an op. You really need your support cast to stay alive in these moments where PowerPixel was just punished back towards that spawn from Lisa running across. They had their Hunter's Fury available that they could really help out to stall the plant towards that back of the site. A recon flash would have been very good too at that point. So you can't be too antsy, even though you were able to get good value off the initial recons and the sprays from PowerPixel over on that B site. They have to be a little bit more tightened up when it comes down to these group retakes that they have to take.
You see Juna nodding away too. A lot's going to be on how they can help support her better on the site. Because before she would stay in back closet and create really good delay, but now MIBR, a lot of their first bloods or just the initial crunch has been on that Sentinel. So it's got to be about reinforcing B. MIBR have been hitting that almost non-stop. 2 rounds left in the half.
Back to middle though with the with support as well from Adora. PowerPixel looks like they might be even going for a recon deep into middle, potentially, or just watching that line if somebody's jump spotting on that spot. So the timeout is not to work towards the extremities. The timeout is just to try to shut down middle once again. And as they break this util, and you're forcing the hands of MIBR in the extremities, you still have some good stalls. Razor vines on both sides, the wall, the paranoia coming out from Astralis. But they are playing in pretty much one and done spots here for the defensive extremities. So you have to be a little bit more proactive on mid now.
And Juna can jump down and fall back as soon as danger faces. So WADA just got to play with spacing. Let MIBR make the first move. Starbound's going to hug a tight angle, but now completely smoked off. Will try to go towards heaven. Paranoia early from WADA. Thought that the hit was going to be at A, but the teleport in from Lisa. Now it's the hunt down for Juna. Juna wins, reestablishes the defense. The Thorns to delay. Juna is a threat that you're going to need a lot of timeouts to deal with. Mel.
30 seconds left.
Still has the spike, but they just don't have, I guess, the woman power, manpower to get into the site with, even with a Hunter's Fury. Now it's Sayori down. This is all over. WADA close to making this a 9-3 half.
And it's nice how they played that on the setup. So I forgot that extra element of the Hunter's Fury is still available for PowerPixel. So as you still go for aggressive lines to hold up towards that top mid cross, when Starbound TP's back, Adora's inserted into that middle, so you're still covering that space. They ran into that trap for MIBR. And then you have PowerPixel that could stay towards this market that has full reach around the Hunter's Fury on both the A main and B main areas. So it works out on their end. And great anchoring to support with the Hunter's Fury to allow Juna to get all those picks. There's potentially now WADA running away with this half. Well, they already have an 8-3 is a pretty good start. 9-3 would be even better. Versus the last time they had this result against MIBR, they only were able to get 6 in total.
Well, no command activated, but they're so delayed because of this Vise wall. Again, Juna creates such a nuisance at B, but look how well she's supported. Now you got the Yoru and the Sova on this side. One of them with an Odin. So MIBR very smart to head elsewhere. Look how much headway Bastarda has created. Juna swap sites. And it's Lisa that gets her revenge after a crucial duel loss in the previous round after the ult. Spike is down. MIBR gonna make this as close as possible. Paranoia right in the path of WADA. As Lisa at 30 HP. It's gonna hold on. Sayori, all the util throw now for MIBR, and it's just the recon for Mel that they have left, and no star duelist to help them. Now a fragging IGL steps up to the plate as Power picks LA with Astralis. And the spike is ticking down, and Astralis makes it easier. Oh, but this hide and go seek is nasty. An 8-4 half, still in favor of WADA.
Got close towards the end. A 2 versus 4 that was almost converted here on the side of WADA, but well done for MIBR to have a little bit more inserts. The way they've been playing towards Abyss on that first map, being able to find these gaps against the double senti comp that was being thrown on that first map as well, allowing for them to muster up these rounds to end the half at 8-4, to salvage something that was so one-sided in the first place. But now let's go talk to Tura from KRÜ Esports.
Calma, vambora, velho. Tô aqui então com a Tura, que é a IGL da KRÜ. Quero saber dela, obviamente, como que foi essa experiência de estar aqui, de jogar com a galera. Eu sei que a galera apoiou a KRÜ também durante um tempo. So I'm here joined by Tura from KRÜ, and I want to know from her what was the experience like to play here in front of the Brazilian crowd that supported them as well. So what was this experience like to play here in front of everybody and in this land in Brazil?
I mean, it's something that we don't have in Latam, so it's like really fun. I love the crowd. I love them shouting at us, or sometimes no. So I hope we can have this soon in Latam. I love this.
Bom, ela falou que ama, que não foi uma experiência que acabou tendo lá na Latam Norte, mas que foi muito legal estar aqui jogando na frente da galera e ver a galera gritando por elas e às vezes nem tanto, mas tudo bem, faz parte, e acabou que falando que gostou bastante dessa experiência, né? E agora eu quero saber, pô, elas já treinaram, claro, algumas vezes aí contra a equipe da WADA, então, o que aconteceu para esse time mudar tanto? So you've already practiced against WADA a lot of times, from like as far as I know, and what do you think has happened for them to change so much? Like it's a whole other team.
We know that WADA is like this team. I'm really happy for them that they're showing their real talent, what they are. I mean, I've been seeing them like this whole year. I know what they can do, so I'm really happy that now we are winning. So
you're for them?
Obviously. I love Made in Brazil, but I've been rooting for them like since always, so I hope they win.
Bom, ela falou então basicamente que essa é a WADA, que é o time que elas treinaram contra, que elas sabem que tem esse potencial e que realmente foi o time que ela viu durante o ano todo e falou que tá torcendo pra elas, que ama o MIBR, mas que tá torcendo pra elas porque já tava torcendo pra elas desde sempre. Thank you, gracias, de volta com vocês.
So awesome to see Tura in the crowd, and from enemies to fans, I guess, after WADA won yesterday. It's cool to see everybody in the crowd too.
Exactly. Even after WADA finished their games yesterday, I remember PowerPix LA, Astralis were still hanging out in the crowd and watching the KRÜ versus MIBR. So a lot of cool support coming in from the Game Changer scene, from inside the server, outside the server. It's a nice little community that we have built up here throughout the years for Game Changers. That said, though, MIBR, defensive side, aggressive pushes. A couple of pop shots found here on the side of SRN, but that's going to stall this early aggression, and WADA now has the upper hand to start taking control of the map.
Really crucial pistol for MIBR. It's okay to have a slow start, but it's how you end that matters. Not being used to being at a deficit like this, and you could tell that it's made them angry, but they're as resilient as ever. They just put it a lot on themselves to step up, so MIBR, it's now or never. But WADA are going to take their time to work the map. Who's looking around mid? Is anyone taking advantage of that lapse? It's going to be this KJ util from Bastarda. It's going to be triggered here early, and WADA going to wait this out. And Sayori has nothing to throw at them, but rather support on the site. WADA begin the flood. On the other side, SRN can pick timing. Now layers of smokes, and it's a little troublesome, but the crossfire is still the bread and butter of MIBR. Astralis, already 2 kills this round though, and it's gonna be the end of WADA. MIBR, very important pistol here to win.
It was a nice try for what you're trying to pull out here for WADA. Getting a smoke towards that spawn, pushing the KG back, and you're trying to surprise the players inside the smokes. But somehow there's a double smoke being thrown. So there was the walkout smoke being thrown on the defensive side, and then there was already the attack smoke towards that spawn. So it created the extra layer that didn't allow WADA to get the cleanest of pushes inside that smoke. And the idea was to crunch on that side anyways, because you had the super late lurk from Juna on the top of middle. And that would have allowed for you to pivot towards the A side. Another 3 versus 1 push on that end with a solo anchor on A. But the story was written that MIBR is going to shut them down on that push and win the pistol finally. An important one on their side to bring this game back.
Drone up to B. Nice and quiet on the left side, and Pastarda with the judge. It's gotta be a no-go. Everywhere WADA step. Oh, what a beautiful paranoia there from Lisa. She grabs hold of this round. Power Pixel, the last one, the only element they have is the mystery, and the mystery has been solved. And MIBR begin to close the gap.
Looks like it was just trying to make some noise so we could try to get a plant towards this B site, but Power Pixel was never really fully inserted into B yet until we started making some noise, or when we started making some noise over on that A side. Had a 1v1 with Lissa really trying to push forward, and or should I say Melissa trying to push forward and pick up the orb here right at the entrance of this B site. Unfortunately, it's a Phantom versus a Marshall. Nothing here that Power could do. Now they're going into a strong bonus round. We talked about flawless bonus rounds that WADA had against MIBR on Lotus. Now similar things for MIBR on this map.
WADA being aggressive here, droning up. SRN's a little distracted, but it's just suppressing fire from the judge. It's enough to keep WADA honest. Sayori needs to live here. The knife out first, just to limit WADA's options on how to get into this part of the map. Sayori's so injured and needs to live on for these flashes to kind of create a good fight opportunity for MIBR as WADA begin the press. Here. Not going in, guns blazing quite yet, even with the recon. SRN will still keep WADA in the trenches.
You're too far to set the TP, so you can't really commit into tree.
Unless MIBR just do it anyway. Just fearless. With WADA all around the corner. Starbound exposed. Wait a minute, but that's where they thrive until Bastarda takes care of business. And MIBR flawless so far in the second half.
Good little spray at the beginning, but nice for MIBR for their bonus round to not give that space for WADA to take. And again, when you're seeing this mid control going into a catwalk, one of the teams outside of WADA that perfected it was the Fnatic way of Alpha Air and Kayak moving forward with double TPs that they could have, right? You flash, you fight in, they could both TP out in range, but Starbound left that on the outside of the B site, so they couldn't really commit to move towards that line to break the timing of the util to get some picks. So unfortunately, going into an eco round, WADA going for a semi G2 buy, 3 stingers and a knife, spots so many of them at the start.
I mean, gonna have to force to pivot, and WADA, it's not gonna be a fun fight. If you expect MIBR to be playing at the back of B, it's going to be a range that Stingers are not going to have as much fun in. Be worried about getting around through mid, and they just wanted to keep getting exposed, and they really need an advantage if they hope to somehow pull this round together.
It's a re-hit towards the A side. Both actually initiator utilities are kind of far to try to get the mid-round info. A gap right now to get explored by WADA, unless SRN could land 2 amazing shots with the Outlaw on that hit.
Uh-oh. SRN! Oh, looked like a collat too, but WADA happy the 2 bullets are done with, and now they get to laugh this one
30
off.
seconds left.
Smokes too to confirm the plant. Seoden creating some pressure as WADA almost wanted to engage off the reload. Now nowhere to be found. WADA just playing time, playing their lives. The high ground demolished, and MIBR stomps the ground with WADA players. And it's Starbound, the lone wolf, 1 versus 2. Oh, and MIBR have the read on where Starbound ended up at. Defuse being held. Starbound is finished.
And the plant wasn't at the right spot. Planet safe when he got into the site, which is quite surprising because, yes, even though a first pick came out now for the side of SRN, they were forced to just rotate back towards that spawn. And then the G2 Stinger buy was mixed with Frenzy, so they still have so many bullets to mow down close range battles. Door was already closed, but they were just afraid of the overcommitment of players flooding back out towards that site. You try to plant safely, and you did give a chance here to let Starbound win a 1 versus 2, where their plant wasn't for them. Forcing their hand out, and now also forcing the last timeout from King Fred. Remember, this was a 7-0 start for WADA on the first half when they were playing the defense, and now they're tied up.
It's crazy. MIBR are back in form. They've just needed those timeouts to kind of adapt to WADA. First, it started with collapsing on Juna, which WADA were able to sort of mitigate with 1 round win eventually there at the end. But MIBR, so good at spotting those weaknesses and taking advantage. And also almost using these losses to fuel anger, to be more aggressive. And so far, it's been a boon for MIBR to play that way.
MIBR at the beginning of these rounds, if they were going to play aggressive somewhere, has been a lot towards this front B side where Double Initiator and SRN tries to get a little bit of info. But now that a lot of the KG utils towards A, even Bastar's not even playing an ult on their round, you're just trying to get SRN into the front lines in the middle with the Odin.
Oh, it's good. MIBR still have the op that has to watch mid, and Sayori at least will have a smoke in front to help keep things delayed for WADA. All noise has been cut. WADA feeling good about the information they've heard at A.
It's an interesting play, though, because, again, the idea, I think, is you could get a late drone if SRN sees nothing on middle, so you could post them up into the long B line. But instead, they went for a Pop Flash Odin, where they now don't have any of that util towards the mid round, so you have to force these type of plays, trying to get your heroes to try to push forward, to try to get picks. Then you're getting picked off now by Starbound. Everybody's going to get grouped up because nobody could push towards B main, because Jude already placed the wall, so they can't push aggressively. You just have to clear the right side corner. Once it's clear, you pop into a site, and Sayuri is going to be playing this solo.
All they need to do is buy time. The arsenal that Sayuri has and Lisa teleporting over will do this together. I get to watch both doorways. And WADA put on the press. Not a lot of util to be thrown inside of this closet, so WADA don't want to stagger in. It's the double swing. Power Pixelay hesitates! And that's where the captain takes advantage and steers the ship to a lead.
Wow, 4 kills on top of that from Sayori. You've heard their flashes already coming out from the site, and also the TP in the back of that B site. Those two were isolated there. You even smoked it up. Yes, you create an opening. There's a gap on that left side, but you could kind of just keep them in there and just plant in the front of the site. Instead, we try to get util in that back, try to flood in behind, but where's that util? When Juna's already trying to, instead of wide swinging, if you don't have util to swing towards that back of the site, the first player has to full wide swing. If not, you're stopping everybody in their tracks, and they can't trade effectively. So everybody goes in one by one. No element of surprise. And MIBR now take the lead. A small mistake. Actually, big mistake. Be costly now. Economy's broken for the side of WADA.
WADA were loud and proud at the beginning of this. and now haven't picked up a single round in this second half. Still with the defaults to iron out the best opportunity. But whatever they pick, there's a Hunter's Fury and an Odin, of all things, to create an obstacle course, to create the chaos that MIBR thrive in. And with this lower buy, one of the best case scenarios, if they could keep this up, or even drop SRNs. I was like a little worried about them jumping back in. And they're going for more. Misses both. But at least they still live. That's my hope for MIBR. But there's support, there's flashes, there's Sayori in the wings. And WADA didn't even use that window to engage in, really respecting the offer from SRN and going elsewhere.
Here.
Dora gets all the info. They can move in now for the Steel Garden. This will be an advantage now for WADA to overtake the A site.
Adora has to decloak after the rest of the team got blinded by the Omen, and Dora was what they can. WADA only have a few more seconds to plant, and MIBR can't prevent it, but they can try to overcome it. SRN had a wobbly start to the round, but can still live on and thrive with Mel. They can kind of line up the dominoes, but Starbound does not miss those. And that is a really painful loss for MIBR. At least Mel will recover the op, but WADA will equalize our score.
And that was Starbound's anchoring that was perfect there to get WADA that plant on the A site. Even if you're playing with, you know, a shotgun towards that back, a shorty towards the back of the generator, there's other players still rotating across that haven't been affected by the Steel Garden. That was 3 players rotating from that B site that could have done some heavy damage until Starbound is able to land every single one of their shots. Really good execution on the side of WADA. Nice little pivot towards the end on how they cooked it up for Power Pixel A, because I'm pretty sure that was drafted on the fly here. There's no game plan from Fred that I would think that say, hey, if you guys are on an eco here, just force an op and try to get the Steel Garden on a fake on the B site. So it's based off the util, the info that you're getting at the beginning of these rounds. And the pivot back towards A was perfect.
And since we have a Kave in the crowd, they're very familiar with WADA off these thrifties. That is the pivot point where they begin to take over and the confidence swells. Especially with Starbound being as accurate as they are.
Here.
That's the form you need them to be in. If WADA want to make history as the first unsigned team in GCC, push MIBR at their limits. But Bastarda is going for a big play by themselves. And now is going to fall back to a safer position.
Had to. Juna threw the flash and had to get shot, so you gave the tell that you're trying to go for something aggressive into the corner. You go back into a default round. You're trying to punish SRN in this wine, so those players on B side have to make some noise.
SRN. Dangerous spot to be in, but it could be quite profitable. As WADA in the show face at A. Not completely in sight lines of SRN.
Starbound's trying to get a pick outside of TP range again, or doesn't even have it up, so they can't really commit there yet, but they've sold the noise on this B site.
No Juna, but Starbound creates an opening. SRN exposed. Now with the delay, just a threat that looms. As Astralis will just have to ignore and move on and regroup with the team. 12 seconds left. They just need to play it, and MIBR doing everything they can to succumb WADA to pressure. And what a shot. SRN had knives out. Bloodthirsty as ever. Dead. 2 versus 2 on the post plant. Power Pixel A stuck on an island. Bastarda hunts down both. MIBR back in the driver's seat.
I got so dangerous and hectic for both teams on one side. Good plays by Australis, noticing that she had to stay alive. If not, SRN had the backstab with the time remaining, and you can't get the plat down. So she holds the corner, never exposes herself, and then wastes the time, even sacrifices herself to allow the kill to happen for Starbound towards main and for the plat to go down. But on that 2 versus 2, they found the gap when they jumped around the generator, and MIBR are once again back in the lead after trailing so far behind on the first half.
You stifle any momentum WADA could have gotten off the Thrifty. MIBR won this map convincingly in their last encounter. They'll at least try to repeat the win.
Revealing area.
It's back into the operator for Starbound 2. Respectable. You're 2 away from a Tour de Force as well. Astralis with the Guardian because you could buy into the next round. So you're trying to make something out of this. Astralis is watching his solo on the A site, battling against SRN potentially. But SRN's actually posted up on his B site to fight against Starbound.
To be such a cook spot to leave the spike in. We're droning with the spike in hand. I'm nervous. MIBR. They're going to shoot down the drone. This Power Pixel lives on. And it's Sayuri that kills the clone and does not matter. The judge always delivers. And Power Pixel with just the pistol is out in the middle of nowhere. And no more teammates to bail them out. So now Starbound has to step up to help this mid push. And Astralis to watch those angles as well. Still has a smoke. Got to cut off some opening for MIBR for safe passage for the spike.
And this type of gameplay for WADA on the attack side is very
30
normal.
seconds left.
10-second hits, 10 seconds left to plant. Very, very normal with this double sentinel comp. Now you're just trying to smoke through and get the surprise onto Bastarda. Just saw one.
Bastarda. Oh, takes care of it all. Starbound. Oh, almost got the shot. Up to 11. A near impenetrable defense from MIBR. After trailing 0-7. No strangers to the stage and high stakes and have now become the super team. And hope to be going to GCC as one of Brazil's best.
And that's what we're saying about WADA on the first half too, when they were looked unstoppable. But definitely how MIBR are just letting WADA walk into the crosshair being placed by anybody. It's just obvious the scaling right now that WADA is doing. MIBR is always ready for it. Thankfully this time the upshot missed, and thankfully also Starbound got the pick on the previous round, because with that death they have their ultimate this round here, and they're looking to battle against SRN.
SRN can't let that be a trend. We've noticed that in now a couple of rounds. Silver lining is that she lives, and she'll get another chance at glory. While WADA just got their Viswall triggered over on left side, so they can't be standing here in mid for too long. MIBR may just collapse on them. Now with the door closed, WADA will be delayed even further. There'll be a catwalk approach, and MIBR sense it. They start to throw their util, the paranoia too from Lisa. It's WADA have that path closed off. They're playing with MIBR's heads. And stepping back up, the re-hit towards B. Starbound, beautiful shot into the backside. MIBR gotta fill the gaps. And standing tall, Mel has to be the dependable anchor for MIBR until this flank comes in for Sayuri and tries to get a different gun other than the judge. But it won't be a different result. WADA close to pulling off a flawless.
Even at full HP for all of them. PowerPixel only invested into a regen shield and didn't even get damage at all, so in my book that looks like to be a fairly clean round. And they won't have too much to invest going into the next, and you gotta praise the calls here, the pivots from PowerPixel. When this wall gets activated in front of the B site, then you're thinking, okay, well, if SRN has already upped and dashed on that side towards that B line, they are posting them up on that B site. So they now pivot towards the A site tree, which is something very, very easy, or a good position for you to take on the attack side when you're playing this double senti comp because of that double TP that I was mentioning before. So you bait out all of that util. You've inserted Juna on the top of middle. Now you can rotate around the map. You're cutting these rotates across as well as you're making noise towards B. It was just really well executed to really just stall and cut the rotates away from MIBR. Cut them at the ankles, cut them at the heels, and convert that round here.
Lisa has to be careful with these teleports. It's a couple of rounds I've noticed them just teleporting right into a crosshair, and yeah, it's just a great reaction from WADA. And just that round alone may inspire WADA that they could go all the way and still take this in regulation. And to deny that op, the last second from MIBR completely changes the map. Now it's the playground of Starbound. You dominate mid pretty solo. MIBR know it. Now they're just gonna fall back to their crossfires and their inserts and make sure Bastarda stays alive with this lockdown.
Yeah, you need her alive. This lockdown will be super important. She just gave her position away, and that is huge for WADA to start.
It's really tough for Bastarda. Help was around the corner. Now call 911, but it's for MIBR because WADA just caught up after what looked like such a hopeless second half.
And MIBR should have been ready for that one. A TP that was placed by Adora was a fake TP from the Yoru. So that forward position from Bastarda, she calls it. She knows it's there, but she looks to be aggressive and look back towards that fridge where Power Pixelay gets that first kill, cuts the rotates on Catwalk to get the trip into the round. One away from a Hunter's Fury in this 11-11 scoreline. It's now going back and forth. Both teams having tremendous success on their defensive side, and both teams trying to go for control on middle.
Just lacking that op, and MIBR just see how much they struggle without it. WADA take matters into their own hands and just let the op and all the guns do all the talking, but the op drops. MIBR are floundering, but this was mostly a save. That means WADA will be on map point.
Look like a team deathmatch on District.
Yeah.
But saving the op for the next round will be super important for SRN. She invested already so much going to a hero rifle on that round. Of course, could buy into the next, but saving the op allows for her to stand strong in the last round of regulation. This will be confirmed around for WADA, and thankfully for them, they didn't have to use too much of the util of their util to get into the sites, including the ults. And after that shot missed, well, Power Pixelay is gonna not allow the op to carry over to the next.
I think we got a little too comfortable on that save. This is what, twice in a row that MIBR have tried to save the op and it gets dropped, and is a crucial component of MIBR's success, as you pointed out. And this makes it 3 in a row. Can WADA win streak themselves back into this series? Like, it was dire when this first started. 13-6 for MIBR. And this could be back-to-back maps. And to get their revenge, too, would be insane on Ascent.
And WADA, I mean, I was just praising a couple of rounds ago how MIBR was so good at allowing WADA to get into their crosshairs and are winning all these fights. The last 2 rounds, despite the last one being an eco, they were trying to force their hands against WADA. They've changed their tempo since the timeout of King Fred, and they drafted up their own way of how they wanted to shut down the plans of WADA. But instead, it's the attack side that just kind of waits, just like the comp is supposed to do. So now you're walking into their crosshair. It becomes a lot easier for them to take map control because you do have aim. You're literally composed around a composition of a chamber that has no util but an op.
Dimensional drift, Hunter's Fury gets the first blood, gets the ball rolling. But MIBR are not done yet. They've got their own Hunter's Fury. And WADA may know it. They have to be careful at every step that they take and where they reveal themselves, or they could be walking in to a flurry even of ultimates.
This is still pretty good though. They did the smoke towards main and did the Fnatic recon over towards wine to try to pull a rotate over. The thing is, it's not going to get bitten, unfortunately, this time around for MIBR, and they're still holding Mel in the back with the Hunter's Fury with 10 seconds left.
Oh, and they caught the teleport from Bashalis, and the paranoia from MIBR anchored WADA, ingrained them. The Hunter's Fury as WADA skip away. It's just Juna with 29 HP and a moment to spare, but no longer. MIBR are pushing this to the limits.
Guaranteed the loss here on time after the Hunter's Fury does get the pick with the crossfire set up in the back of the site. No way to move in for a plant. We get our first OT in this series. And yeah, it looked pretty good for the combination to try to take one down, but there was nobody really set up to take that space right after. They were still defaulting behind those lines, and after that, you lose all of that space. You lose that time as well. And WADA are forced now to play in overtime. A glass cannon up for Starbound, none for SRN, and MIBR are looking for an early mid control. Both initiators being set up. Looks like maybe actually a pop flash for A main control. So Adora is about to get met up here.
SRN needs to be able to tank that damage. He needs the armor and needs to help successfully flood in MIBR. Just making sure there's no wine inserts. Now SRN leads it. Oh, some poking there from Astralis and closes the door. It almost dropped down from the heavens to send MIBR exactly there. As the Odin, the Op, going to get into position. No one in heaven until Starbound creates that threat. MIBR trailing, but at least with the spike in hand. Now the turret, at least that gives a heads up to Bastarda. 1 versus 2 on the double swing from WADA. Bastarda delivers! And Melissa 2. Oh my god, the turnaround from MIBR. They're on map point.
A 2 versus 4 converted for MIBR. Another one of those mistakes where you're trying to clear a corner, and as soon as you find somebody, you stop yourself in your tracks. This time at least no body block, but you're still lining up. Astralis did whatever she could here on this A site, spotted by the shots that she's given, spotted by the drone, and got her too. But after this, not clearing that corner, being lined up, Bastarda. And also Melissa clutches it for MIBR and puts themselves at map point. An opportunity to take the lead in this BO5. And now it looks like WADA, they don't want to stop. They don't want to play slow this time around. Already an early drone and a TP. Committed this time around by Adora.
WADA getting antsy. Ooh, MIBR not going to bite on that. As Adora have to flash and set themselves up. The recon pushing MIBR off posture as we have a technical pause. Something up on maybe the MIBR side, but we'll take a check-in.
Of course, what better way here to calm down the intense moments that we're currently facing in this third map, BO5. A set now, a huge map that was taken by a strong lead by WADA on the defensive side. But now it is map point for MIBR. And what should have been an easy round for MIBR to retake. A hero position at the front lines of that sliding door of the tree prevents WADA from flooding back into the A site and getting denied the opportunity to put themselves in the lead, back in the lead of this very map. And I think this is going to be a tough blow, a tough pill to swallow for WADA if they lose this map right here with how strong they started.
And if we have to reset this round, that's WADA are going to have to dig even deeper. Can't be hitting it the same way. So make sure everything is all right with MIBR, but the pressure's certainly on, especially with the crowd in front. First time a lot of these players are seeing a crowd, but hoping to also return to GCC. There's a mix of experienced players and newer ones, and next generation of game changers on stage.
Yeah, we'll have to see what the tech pause is going to be and what they're going to try to figure out, because we don't have any word if it's a player issue or whatnot. I don't see any of the players trying to fix their ears or whatnot, so we'll have to see. If it's a round reversal, I doubt it. I feel that there's been some players moving across the map and even some damage done. But if it's going to have to go down to that, then get ready for a podcast, Lemon Kiwi.
Oh boy. But, I mean, you already sensed it and heard it from the crowd themselves that this is a completely different WADA team. They're not scared. They're not nervous. They still have voices, even though they're like screaming after every round win. Then there's the element of the crowd. They got to create their own hype.
Yeah, and that's a very big point to mention, because despite the first map of Abyss being so one-sided from the scoreline in itself, you could already tell from how they were moving around the map and fighting, at least for the side of WADA, that they did look much more comfortable than they did on their first game yesterday against MIBR on this very stage. So yeah, this I think the biggest issue that they had was not really being able to anchor up the B sites when they were getting ran down every single time here by MIBR. You're not playing any big compositions. You're trying to play something unorthodox that works out for a team like Winthrop University that has ups and downs on that on those results. I think it was fairly similar for WADA as well. I think locally, if they played it in North America, I think it was stage 2. It was still a map loss against YFPX, but it was still a game that went back and forth for WADA. So they trusted the comp. They trusted what they could bring here to the table against MIBR, and unfortunately, it fell flat. But after that, you're playing into the strong maps that you have for WADA. The next 2 maps, Lotus and this one right here, has been their bread and butter. When they first came out with this comp, when they first also continued to say, all right, well, let's just play around our strength. Let's just not go with the meta. Let's see, okay, Stardon, you want to play an op, you want to play Chamber? Let's figure out how we could make that work. And they did. They made it this far so far, and are actually making it very difficult for MIBR to close this. It's not a clean sweep on a 3-0. It's 1-1 so far, and it could still go back and forth this series.
Even saw on the cams just a minute ago that SRN just looks a bit off, like maybe just really focused, I guess, but I'm worried that like where the mental is right now. At least like after a loss, like when MIBR lost that Brazil final, they still felt like, well, we lost as a team. We're holding it together and we still got a chance at LCQ. They kind of had, they were building hope towards what was coming next. But now you got to build that hope as the series goes on, because this is quite literally the last chance to get into GCC.
And it's going to mean a lot for MIBR, or especially for the Brazilian scene. I think there's been so many iterations of Game Changers champs that were like, Leo, Riot, John Riot, give us more slots. We have so much competition across the board here for GCC, especially when it comes down to all the regions. I mean, you look at even Southeast Asia, when they're coming to these tournaments, they're consistently placing into the top 4. And then for Brazil, it's like, well, we have Team Liquid or we have MIBR, but it goes deeper than that. So they have a lot of opportunities to showcase now with this LCQ, another player, another team to show who has the strongest region right now going into GCC. So there is definitely a huge crowd and a huge community in the Brazilian side standing up behind them and cheering for MIBR to make it through to Seoul.
Yeah, there's only one spot left for the Game Changers Championship. G2 did just confirm theirs from the EMEA Stage 3 Finals. Congrats to them, but congrats to us. We've earned ourselves a tech break, an extended one as we talk to our admin, so we'll see you on the other side.
Game Changers, it's about competition, pure happiness. It's like a crazy experience. We're making history. It means so much to us.
It's good to be back.
I guess you know what I've been looking for 6 years.
The beauty of gaming is it doesn't matter who you are. And as long as I'm good enough,
Everybody's getting a 4K.
I can go as far as I want.
That's what I like to see, baby.
全世界都会知道我们的厉害。
The human body was built to move. Not trapped at a desk in one singular posture for 12 hours a day. It's time your chair evolved. This is Secretlab Titan Evo. Ergonomically engineered for you. Gamers, hybrid workers, artists. Backing your every move.
Who's gonna stop me? Get it in roll. Living the life I will keep on control. Giving it up to my people stand tall. You know the deal, I will give it my all.
Underrepresented on the move. Really wanna start me, let me school.
Take a ride with me. When I flip the society. Underdog overlooked. Underestimated, I don't lose. Take a risk, take a ride with me. On the edge, looking down from a cliff.
Red Bull gives you wings.
It's for you. Do you like it? Come on, Charlie. Use your new door. Come on, let's go. I said go. Let's Go! Silly dog. I'm gonna trade you for a cat. Red Bull gives you wings.
The new Red Bull Zero is here. 100% wings with monk fruit extract.
Got the new iPhone 17 Pro, and Verizon picked up the tab.
No way.
Yeah, it's me. Handsome and hilarious. It's a rare combo.
New and existing customers can get the new iPhone 17 Pro on us, on the best 5G network.
I mean, where else would I get it, right?
Red Bull gives you wings.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for your patience. As of right now, there has been a small tech issue within the game between MIBR and WADA. We are remaking the lobby. We're going to have the game up shortly. We're anticipating about 5 more minutes. Thank you so much for your patience. Get a snack, get some water. At the end, we'll be back soon with the conclusion of Ascent. Thank you.
Not trapped at a desk in one singular posture for 12 hours a day. It's time your chair evolved. This is Secretlab Titan Evo. Ergonomically engineered for you. Gamers, hybrid workers, artists. Backing your every move.
Who's gonna stop me? Get it in roll. Living the life I will keep on control. Giving it up to my people Cento. You know the deal, I will give it my all.
Underrepresented on the move. Really wanna start me, let me school.
Take a risk, take a ride with me. When I flip the society. Underdog, overlooked. Underestimated, I don't lose. Take a risk, take a ride with me. On the edge, looking down from a cliff.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Thank you so much for your patience, everybody. We're going to be concluding this overtime very soon. So I think our players are all ready to go. The issue was a little disconnect on MIBR's side, so maybe a chance for WADA to come back mentally, I guess.
Yeah, and after this reset, I'm trying to figure out where are we resetting? Are we back at OT round 1? Because if that's the case, I was like, dude, just take the W. You wanted 2 versus 4. Okay, it's still that point. It's still that point for MIBR. 13-12 right now for MIBR. We haven't rolled back in the previous round before that. And now things are going to be difficult for WADA. We've talked about how they were struggling a bit on their attack side. And MIBR somehow converts a 2 versus 4 on their attack side when they struggled a bit. A little bit less now than WADA, but WADA looking for that same type of mid take. The TP set up for Kench Bench. A recon, but you're not hitting that yet. It'll have to be the drone to confirm.
Momentum has been completely reset. The air out of the sails of MIBR got hit by a tech issue, and now I've had enough time to kind of settle the emotions. Stand up straight. Or sit up straight, I guess. Keep drone into B. We've seen that out of Mel before. Sense of comfort there, and there's a Viswell in response to not let Mel go anywhere else, and she hasn't.
They're playing the same strat. Even now, PowerPixel gets hit by the knife. You're using both of the ones that could TP to start take cat control. After that, the Juna insert will play the rotates. Can they bait Util out this time around? Will it be the same result?
That's a lot on Adora. Maybe even Juna. And Juna kicks us off too. 4 versus 4 now. It begins the flood into B.
30 seconds
The
left.
KJ ain't there no more. Nothing will hinder this WADA team. And the smoke comes up, but Adora strikes early and fast. MIBR will be delayed, and that means WADA have chance to evacuate anyone that could be left on the site. MIBR will have fate in their hands on this retake. You saw SRN was nervous in the cams before, and you gotta be when Starbound's back there and trips up over the laces, and WADA even things up.
Hard to retake there when, again, all that util is none available for that B site. None of the util available for the B site retake. But you have to praise and commend Adora, a sub going in for WADA, and places a second TP perfectly at the switch, so they break the timing of the smoke coming down on the top of that B site to engage on that flood. Sees Lissa right there, gets that pick. And then you cannot enter a site when there's 4 players still alive in there for the side of WADA. We're resetting things around. Both teams struggling on the attack. Both teams finding results on the OT of their attacks.
Looks like WADA haven't skipped a beat. Now MIBR with mid control, haven't bought any ops, even glass cannon ones in overtime. It's the Starbound special. Starbound will be smoked off from mid. Spy as well going to be triggered, and MIBR will take their time sensing where all the Sentinel util is.
Yeah, interesting here. They went for the fake TP from Adora. I was gonna scratch my head if that was committed here from Wine. But that was, once again, very similar looks. Just different types of utils being utilized by the side of WADA on the top of Cat. The difference is they still have 2 players inside B anchoring up on that side. So MIBR going for the double pump, faking that B site, going for the pick on mid, and finishing on A.
Starbound is going to concede that position, but maybe could have had a nice pick on Sayori. Was thinking about crossing to follow up with this RN, who's creating a lot of commotion over at B, but the real hit is at A. And now it's a scramble as WADA are going to leave the scene of the crime, and an SRN leaves blood in her wake. And WADA have at least Adora to work with, and no longer Starbound. Has to hit this shot. If anyone from MIBR exposes themselves, MIBR are going to play time. Got to go for the guaranteed win. Juna drop down, axes bait, and the op still gets at least 1. There's still 3 more to go, and MIBR are just not going to give it to you. Now on map point, MIBR stand tall.
You needed those 2 players on the A side to make a decision. Or you double up to try to take control of A main together, or you double up and take control of Tree together. So with one saying, okay, well, I still have a timing going back into Wine and Adora, the second one is just stuck on site as Astralis throws the smoke down, and she can't delay well enough if people are just going to walk in from the side on Tree. So just a nice little commitment on their attack side for the side of MIBR to really allow for them to manipulate this map. And they've done an excellent job cutting these rotates across, and that's going to force a timeout now. The first and only timeout for the side of WADA. King Fred has to figure out here if they could actually do 2 in a row, create a miracle on their attack side, which has been lacking.
Every attacking round has won so far in the overtime, so WADA had such a good early start because of a defense, because of a 7-0. Then MIBR took a timeout and downloaded them and began not running away with it, but at least making things close after MIBR got a thrifty and made it a 4-8 half. And WADA are going to keep buying these glass cannon ops, and MIBR, we'll see if they'll opt to change their strategy. Because that presence alone, that threat alone, completely changes the way MIBR have to approach the map.
Still 1 left in the bank for MIBR, but of course the timeout being called by WADA has been beneficial as well for MIBR's coaches to talk to the MIBR team. Now at map advantage, and also would allow for them to get series advantage as we're tied 1-1 in this best of 5. Winner takes all for the trip to Korea to meet up with the rest of the representatives all across the world for Game Changers champs. Now it starts with the Owl drone on top middle for WADA, showing similar hands. This time, the walk up from the Yoru. I think it's a fake TP to try to work towards this A site. One committed, and then they'll go potentially for the drone inside A. So they want to go for the fast flood into B potentially here.
And a judge at the front door, not something you see too often in overtime. If anything, it was Bastardo that I think had it in tree before. MIBR have had time to adjust and perfect this defense. They haven't won in overtime yet. Now WADA know there's KJ Util over at A. Gonna smoke
That's
it
the
up.
thing. We haven't committed into tree this time around, so they're still going for the slow stall. There's no TP available for Starbound either, so they can't really commit to make some noise. So nobody's moving around for MIBR. This judge could still do so much damage.
Lisa does as well, and now you got the judge involved. MIBR are in full control of this round. 13 seconds, pedal to the metal. WADA race, and what timing from Bastarda! Cape on her back. The ace up the sleeve, and that's it for WADA. MIBR on series point.
The crowd behind them. The crowd has been behind them all along, even when they were trailing behind 7-0. To somehow be able to take the lead on the second half, fight this into overtime, finding results on the attack, and then finally closing it down with not biting into any